Hey everyone, this is Beacon from the Point Mechanic channel, and today I'm going to do a review on the newest pod mod setup from Flow on Fire. Now, pod mods are, for those of you who don't know, basically a pod poi capsule that is inside of a contact poi setup. This setup, which is from Flow on Fire, is a Mr. Babosh, I believe, ball, but it's a different version than the original version, which is, the original was a little bit squishier, and this one's much more denser, and by far now my favorite pod mod setup. I'll get into why I like this so much in a minute, but I'm going to talk about the differences that there are in the different options out there, what there is to choose from. First option was probably the first pod mod setup that I was aware of, which was the Sil-X balls, which are a liquid-filled juggling ball that were clear. If you take the liquid out, you can put the capsule in them, and they work all right, but the LED from the capsule just kind of points straight out. It doesn't really diffuse on the surface like it does on these glow balls or frosted balls. The next option was Flowmoja, which is basically pod poi capsules inside of Emoja heads from Lanternsmith. Pod poi Flow Toys uses longer capsules now than they originally did. The shorter capsules, which you can get from Flow on Fire or Flow Toys, works best in a lot of the pod mod setups out there, but for the Flowmoja, they're using their longer capsules, and they stick out at the back of their head probably about 3/8 of an inch, which if you're doing, contact moves or, fishtails, it feels like there's something extra on the back of the ball there, and it doesn't feel good. So that's one of my main gripes. The next is that they're too small. They're like 90 millimeters, and they're too light. It's just personal preference, but I don't like them that much. The next thing is the light. Just from the ones I'd seen, the light didn't really diffuse very well. Until I saw Levi Davidson spinning. If you haven't checked out this kid, definitely give him a look-see on Instagram. I'll leave a link in the description below. His setup is just amazing. As you can see, the light kind of comes out of the ball and points, but it also lights up the surface of the ball pretty well too. I think the reason these are different than anything else I had seen is the fact that he's using different colored heads, and that's what's cool about Flowmoja is they have different color heads, and they look great in the daytime, but they look amazing in the nighttime as well. The LED just seems to interact with the different colors, so I guess there's different options to play with there. The next option was from Flow on Fire, which are these 97 millimeter balls. When I found out about these, I was really excited because one of the main problems I had with my other setup is when I'm doing, really hard stalls or doing really heavy spinning, the ball would elongate and the capsule will get stuck inside of the ball because it comes out of its socket there. These have a little sleeve about that long that goes into the capsule, or over the capsule, and it holds it in place. The downside to all this setup is the fact that they're 97 millimeter. I know that doesn't sound like much difference than 100, but I like consistency from going from my play poi to my glow poi. This setup here is a little lighter than I like to, and it's squishier, which is nice because it's forgiving. A lot of people like these. I did it first, but they also collect too much dirt for my personal preference, and you always have to clean them. So I continued working with my original setup, which was the Mr. Babosh gloss glow poi. And what's worked well about these is they remain clean, they're soft, but after time they do seem to elongate, and especially when you have the capsule pushed out like this and you're charging it, it just seems to make that hole too big for this to work very well. So when you're spinning them, they'll pop out inside the capsule, or inside of the ball, like I said. So when I found out about these, which, as I said, Flow on Fire sent me, I was blown away. I was so excited that this was going to retain its shape because it was so much thicker and it's heavier, and it does it just super well. As you can see, when I do orbitals, you can hear one of them's come out. I guarantee you that's the first one that I showed you here, which is, as you can see, the original Mr. Babosh. So this one doesn't do that anymore, and it feels amazing too. It's so dense, and the surface of it feels really nice and tacky, so it just does contact super well. This is probably the best setup. I even like this more than I like my regular play poi, or they're not play, they're the fancy colors from Flow on Fire, but this just seems to, something about the denseness works really well. Now, they're heavy, so having counterbalanced handles, this works out super well. I have like pod poi capsule handles on this, but for my lighter handle setup with my knobs, I found that this was too heavy because I like a heavier knob, so I had to make this setup, which was a Winmar XL knob that I put a Night Ice chip in a custom fitted piece that I epoxied inside the handle. I don't really like the feel of the Winmars. They're too slick for my dry hands, so I took a palm grip and I cut it in half. This is the original version palm grip. Cut it in half, and now I have this silicone grip right here, this extra weight, and it just feels amazing. So as far as how bright these are, compared to the Mr. Babosh, they were way brighter in my opinion. The 97 millimeters were kind of right there in between. The only thing I say that some people might not like, which doesn't bother me at all, is there's this little darker line right here, which is kind of where the seam is. It's because the seam is obviously thicker, and but I don't notice it. It's just when I'm spinning it, I can't tell that at all. But yeah, that's it on this setup. Flow on Fire will make the whole setup if you want, or they'll just sell you the ball. $25 a piece. I thought that was kind of expensive until I got these, and now it's absolutely worth it. If you want a coupon code, you can look in the description below. I'll leave that. It's basically Poi Mechanic, all one word, all capitalized. And yeah, if you have any comments or questions, leave it in the comment section below. If you have any things you want me to review, just get in contact with me. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a good day.